Galactic holdings are down 14% today after the past year going down 61%, but this stock has had wild rides, and this seems to be the common theme for all SPAC plays. They're just going downhill below their even pre-SPAC price of $10 a share. And Virgin Galactic Holdings, my prediction is will go below $10 a share and might reach even $8 a share before starting to come back up. So we're going to be talking about this move and whether or not you should be buying Virgin Galactic Holdings. So welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam. On this channel we talk about cryptocurrencies, my portfolio. You can check out my recent full year 2021 year in review where I talk about all my investments. That's just the previous video. But today we're going to be focusing on Virgin Galactic's. This is a space tourism company right now with a $2.7 billion market cap. The main reason why it's falling down today is that they just issued a debt offering, planning to raise up to $500 million to fund their research, their development, general and administrative expenses. So they had to push the first day of the commercial aircraft carriers to late in 2022, so later this year. And of course they need more money to fund because right now, especially with startups like Virgin Galactic, they're just a loss company. And I mean, on top of that, SPACs have been hit especially hard. I mean, you look at over the past 6 months, Virgin Galactic is down by 71%. Even just year to date, which is just a couple days, it's down by 21%. And so these high-flying stocks, with the expectation of interest rates rising, are just getting absolutely decimated. And so, I mean, like, look, down 71% over the past 6 months. I actually talked about space when it was around $25, saying that I would not buy at these levels. And this was like 5 months ago as well, May 24th, more than 5 months ago. And I mean, like, look what has happened to the stock price. So now it's less than half of what it was when I was talking about it. And again, this is just what happens when you are investing in high-flying companies. And I still believe in this stock. Don't get me wrong. I think the space tourism industry will flourish over the coming years. But just, patience is key when you're investing. And I've definitely been burned before by investing too early in these stocks without first seeing good performance coming out. Like, for example, Hyliion, they need to start selling vehicles. And I've been getting burned on that stock, even though I keep averaging down. Now it's a $5 stock. That was also a SPAC play. So the lesson here is just, be careful and patience is key. So they plan to raise $500 million debt. What you have to know is that debt is cheaper than equity. And when you raise equity, that automatically dilutes shareholder value. When you raise debt, that does not necessarily dilute shareholder value, at least not in the short term. But of course, because the stock market is forward looking, and there are like these calls that you can also exercise for stock, with an additional $75 million option also expected to be granted to buyers. And usually when you raise debt, some of that debt can actually be converted to stock at a specified price. And that's due 2027. So yeah, we'll have to see. So the company intends to raise $425 million for 2027 notes through a private offering with additional $75 million option. Delays have pushed Virgin Galactic's beginning of commercial service to late this year at the earliest. So let's just take a look a bit more into this. So the company intends to use the proceeds to fund working capital, general and administrative capital expenditures to accelerate the development of its spacecraft fleet. Virgin Galactic fell as much as 12%. So I mean, if you're in this company in the long term, this should be seen as a buying opportunity because almost all companies that are especially at their startup stage need to raise cash through equity or through a debt offering. So this could be a good opportunity if you're a long-term holder to get Virgin Galactic shares potentially at a discount. I mean, of course, like I said, this stock was a $10 stock. This was a Chamath, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, stock. And I mean, it shot up to $30, then back down to $11, then all the way back up to $54, and then again back down to like $16, back up again to $55 before going back down, and now it's about $10 a share. So it's still up by 4% all time. I wouldn't be surprised if this stock goes below $10, and I would say my price prediction for the short term is even $8 a share, and that's probably where I'd have my my buy signal at. So I mean, yeah, it's tough, but so Virgin Galactic went public via merger with a SPAC from Chamath in October 2019. While the space tourism company said during its debut that it planned to begin flying customers in 2020, delays to its spacecraft testing and development have steadily pushed back the scheduled date. And we all know this, like this is just a risk we take in high-flying startups. After launching Branson and 3 other companies on a test spaceflight in July 2021, further delays have pushed Virgin Galactic's beginning of commercial service to late this year at the earliest. So we'll have to see what happens. So Q4 2022. I mean, if you are a swing trader, you could potentially wait until they schedule their next test flight. And usually what happens with these space rockets, for example, Astra, is when they launch a flight and it's successful, the stock usually shoots up as the flight is successful, and then like maybe a day or two later, the stock just falls, right? So it's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news type deal. So here you can see what their flight schedule is like. So solo flights kind of beginning around like July 2022, and they have a lot of second quarter to 2023. The VSS Imagine private astronaut space flights. So they have a lot scheduled, and I mean, if they are successful in doing this, then this is a huge industry that they're going to disrupt. And I think that space tourism and space industry in general, especially for launching satellites up into space, is going to be a multi-billion-dollar business, and that's why I invested in Astra. We can take a look at that later. So they still have a lot of cash, close to $1,908 million on hand. So that's really good to see. Of course, they're just losing money like hand over fist right now. Q4 2021 expected to be losing 85 to 95 million. So oof, like a lot of money, but again, that's just to be expected. And yeah, net loss for September 30, 2020 was 92 million compared to 48 million in 2021. Income tax expense, you can all see this here. So yeah, like of course they're losing money, but I mean, that's just to be expected. So nothing really scary there. And I just wanted to tell you about a stock that I'm invested in. This is Astra here. I think it's also falling on the news pretty much, but it's just been getting hammered. This was also, if you look at the max chart here, was also a SPAC deal, and it got pumped to about $20 before coming back down to earth, and I bought it when it was around $8 a share, and I'll just keep buying the dip. And this company, I believe in it because it's trying to commercialize putting things into space at a very cheap, cost-effective level. So it costs a fraction of the amount of money to send something into space with Astra as compared to something like a SpaceX. So yeah, this is one company that you may want to look into that I think is a pretty good value, especially because if you're looking at this from a swing trade perspective, they're planning on launching another successful spacecraft soon, and this thing could rip like it has done before. I think over the past 6 months, this is when they successfully launched, I think, their first mission, and then they did something else as well. But anyways, you could just play so much swing trades with space companies, especially when they have a rocket that's going into space. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and check out the links down below in the description. But yeah, take care, love you all, and peace.